Hey guys, Will Workman here with Workman Protection, here to help you make your concealed carry life better. Today, I want to give you the 5 worst concealed carry mistakes that you might be making. If you are new to concealed carry or you're just trying to figure out the best way to concealed carry your firearm, I want to give you something that I think is really going to be helpful to you, and that is my free guide to concealment. That is in the link below. If you're still trying to figure that out for yourself, definitely go check that out. It'll be really helpful to you. Mistake number 1 is carrying a gun that you don't shoot well. When someone asks you why you chose your particular gun for concealed carry, what's your answer? Well, I can conceal it really well, it works for my body type, or even, well, I went to the gun store and it just fit really well in my hand. Is that your answer? Because if that's your answer, you should really think about whether or not those are the most important things. A very small, snappy gun can feel really well in your hands and it can conceal really easily, but can you hit a 25, 30 yard headshot with it? Can you draw it from concealment and get shots on target consistently under pressure? If not, you may need something a little bigger or just something that you can shoot better. And if those are your answers, then you really should think about, well, why am I carrying a gun? Is it just to have something that I can fit in my hands well? Is it to have something that I can point and scare somebody off? Or is it to have a deadly force tool to defend my life with? I mean, that's why we carry a gun, right? So you need to have a gun that you can shoot really well, and this really needs to be your number 1 thing for concealed carry. Does it need to fit well in your hand? Sure. Do you need to be able to conceal it? Absolutely. But there's a lot of different types of guns that you can conceal really well that really will not be of very good use to you if you don't shoot them well. Also, if you don't have a trauma medical kit, you definitely need one. I've never had to use my firearm in self-defense, but I have had to use my trauma medical kit 3 different times. It's much more likely that you're gonna need a trauma medical kit than need a firearm. And if you have to use your firearm, there's a good chance you're gonna need trauma medical kit as well. So if you're interested in that, check out my friends over at Mountain Man Medical. My affiliate link is in the description below. Mistake number 2 is carrying in an unsafe holster. I have 3 rules for holster safety that are absolutely non-negotiable for me. Number 1, the holster has to cover the trigger guard completely. Number 2, the holster must hold the firearm securely. And number 3, it has to allow me to get to the gun consistently. So let me give you some examples of holsters that fail the safety rules and holsters that pass the safety rules. Uncle Mike's holster, unfortunately, it is most people's first holster that they buy simply because it's like $8. You can get them at Walmart. I can get to the trigger of my gun right there. It's basically a sock with a clip. This is just not a safe holster. It's terrible. Versa carry, my gun just shifts around wherever it wants to inside the holster, and you can see like that's the trigger guard right there, right on the trigger. This is a bad holster. All right, this one is a crossbreed. I carried this holster for a long time before I knew any better. This back piece is leather and this is Kydex right here. Because it's leather and Kydex, it wears the retention out. As you wear it, it's gonna wear that leather down, which is gonna make the gun just not retain well. This is not a safe holster. Outside the waistband leather holster, it does cover the trigger guard completely. It holds the firearm securely. Even after loosening this thing up as much as I can, it's really hard to get out of that holster. It doesn't allow me access to my gun consistently. This is a bad holster. There we go. All right, this is a tuck-tight appendix carry holster. It's got a spot for your gun and for your mag carrier. It's very similar to like the T-Rex arms, the Tier 1 holsters. Now, I'm not saying you have to carry appendix. I'm not saying you have to have this style of holster at all. It's a safe holster because it follows those 3 rules. It covers the trigger guard completely. It also holds the firearm very securely. This allows me consistent access to the firearm whenever I need it. This is a safe quality holster. All right, so this is my everyday carry holster setup. This is a Henry holster on a Filster Enigma system. This is a JM Custom mag carrier. So this is much more than a holster. The holster itself is just a Henry holsters, and it is a light bearing. That's the only difference between really this one and some of the others. It has to cover the trigger guard. It does a really good job of that. It also holds the gun securely, right? I can still grab it and get to that gun consistently. You can hear that audible click when it is locked into the holster, but it comes out very easily. Definitely follows the rules of holster safety. I love this holster. I absolutely love this Filster Enigma system. Kind of a wacky looking setup. Guys, I've done competition in this in gym shorts. You can wear anything with a Filster Enigma. Definitely a great holster setup for you. The third worst mistake is ignorance of the law. This is something that I see especially with people that are just all about guns. They're into concealed carry because they're super into firearms ownership. Yeah, I love guns. I always have a gun on me, or 2 or 3 or 4. I love guns. I'm a huge advocate for the Second Amendment. Obviously, I'm doing this channel because I love concealed carry and I want to help equip people. But when we're talking about self-defense, your firearm is not always the answer. In fact, it is very rarely the answer. The only time you can and should use a firearm is when you have no other options. There's a deadly force standing against you or standing against others, and you have to take out that threat. There are so many other scenarios where you need some other tools, like an OC spray. This is a POM OC spray. That's what I carry every day. Defend yourself against somebody that may not be trying to kill you, that you cannot legally use your firearm to defend yourself in that kind of situation. Having those other tools is super important because you can't just be ignorant of the law. You can't just think, well, he tried to beat me up, so I thought it was fine that I could shoot him. Well, you're probably going to jail, so that's not good. You have to know when you can use deadly force and when you can't. You need to know what you can do and what you can't do. You also need to know tactically and morally what you should do. Because if the only thing that you've prepared yourself for is, if somebody attacks me, I'm gonna shoot them, well, I hope you like prison food. The fourth one is not practicing. Maybe you bought a gun, you bought a good holster, and you've been carrying it. Maybe you even go to the range every now and then and grip the gun the right way, shoot pretty well, take your time pulling the trigger, and that's it. But think about the situation that you may be in. Why you bought a firearm: to defend your life when you're in a gunfight or a knife fight or someone is trying to kill you. You need to know what your draw to first shot time is. You need to know that you can make a shot at 20 yards, at 30 yards, at 45, 50 yards, what your limits are, and you need to know how fast you can do things. Having those skills and using them consistently to progress is crucial at being able to defend your life. When you're in that situation and you're stressed out and you have to draw your firearm quickly and make those shots count, you need to know 100% what you're capable of before you pull the trigger. All right, the last one is a really technical one. It is what I think is the worst mistake a concealed carrier can make. Are you ready for this? It is being stupid. Don't be stupid, just don't do it. And what I mean by this is putting yourself in risky situations or situations that you can easily avoid. What I mean by that is kind of 2 things: how we interact with law enforcement. Doing things like mounting a holster under the dash of your car, mounting a holster to the side of your seat in your car that screams, "I'm armed and I can get to it quickly." That's a huge red flag for an officer walking up, not knowing anything about you and seeing that if you get pulled over. I'll give you another situation. And I remember actually like being a part of this and letting my friends do this. They got a new concealed carry gun, right? And we'd be at McDonald's or Chili's or Chick-fil-A or wherever, and they'd say, "I got a new concealed carry gun." And instead of like pulling out their phone, showing me a picture of it, they're like, "Come on, let me show it to you." So we go out to their truck, they open the door and just draw their gun. And we're standing there in the parking lot looking at this gun. You know, police officer rolls up and sees this going on. What is he gonna assume? It looks super sketchy. These 2 people just handling a gun in a parking lot. It's a terrible idea. The other thing that I mean by being stupid is just putting yourself in unnecessary risky situations. When I was much younger, I would go to Sheetz at like 1 a.m., 2 in the morning. You are breaking 2 of the rules of stupid. You're going to a stupid place at a stupid time of day. You're putting yourself in a very risky situation just to get some mac and cheese bites. So if you choose to do things like that, understand that you are giving yourself unnecessary risk. And if you care about your self-defense, You need to think about avoiding trouble, not just being prepared to defend yourself. Now, if you've made one or two or all of these mistakes, don't feel bad. I have too. Being on a concealed carry journey means that we're always learning, we're always striving to do better. Work hard to prepare yourself for the future. Continue to train, continue to practice, carry good gear, and don't be stupid. Like and subscribe below and comment and let me know what other type of videos you guys want to see.